just gonna mute that music for a second. It annoys the heck out of me. So, hello. Northstar here with another Mount and Blade Warband Let's Play. While I give a second for the music to expire there. By the way, it's May 30th, dusk, because I accidentally pressed a key and skipped some time forward, just sitting here in Beluga, wasting time, and time is money, so that's unfortunate, but at least, silver lining, gets me closer to the point where Cleffy will level up here. She's right at the verge of it. One more day of passive XP gain from my character having Trainer 1. And I believe she gains more than 11 XP from that, so she'll level up. I can give her probably a point of intelligence because of skills. Give her riding 1 so she can ride horses, and I don't know, Iron Flesh too, maybe? Probably. Right now, my companions are a lot less durable even than a lot of my generic troops, I'm pretty sure. Or at least, they're not less durable. They at least don't hit as hard, so they're actually cost effective. At least they can have them tank for the other troops. Invest in that in durability, survivability first, and then once they're pretty durable, then I can invest in their ability to do damage. That's gonna be my strategy with them. Anyways, I did mention, I think, was it last video or the one before? I apologize. My long COVID brain, for those of you new to this channel, by the way, I'm disabled with long COVID. There's a whole story with that. How I got it from my roommate, partly as things are opening back up with the pandemic. The vaccine was out, but only for really sick individuals in my area at the time. It rolled out in different times, different places, and people who worked in healthcare, which I did kind of research stuff. I was, that I could have gotten early access, but because I was doing just not in-person research, I didn't feel it was very right to deny someone who actually was in greater danger early access to the vaccine, and then that research fell apart anyways because of poor communication. Issues with only communicating by email because still the research area wasn't opening back up. The research lab, which some of the things they opened up, you can tell was done for profit, not for actually not disrupting people's lives. Like the research labs, the offices should have opened up long before, long before some of the things that did open back up, that were maybe generating more profit, but were far more risky, because the more people you gather in one place, you gather 20 people in one place, it's like 8 times as bad as gathering 4 in one place, the way epidemiology and spread of viruses works. Anyways, I think I mentioned last video, might have been the one before, something about the Jeju Island massacre, and I actually talked a little bit about this to a family member later, and of course this individual is basically a lost cause, and she was like, government don't just do stuff like this for no reason. It's like, I realized maybe she doesn't understand the concept of a reign of terror. The South Korean government instituted a reign of terror against leftists and those who might sympathize with the left in order to control the population. So that's why they killed 60,000 people in Jeju Island and 40,000 more on the mainland. South Korean government was, some might say, well, why would a government do that unless there was some small minority that was just stirring up shit or something? Well, they were not. Leftists had widespread support in the population, but the government of South Korea did not arise from the people. It arose from a foreign occupying power, first from the Japanese, who had occupied Korea since 1920, I think. They invaded after World War I, took over Korea. So Japan had been occupying the Korean Peninsula, and then at the end of World War II, when the Japanese surrounded the United States quickly rushed our bureaucrats and managed to gain control of the southern half, but not the northern half of the peninsula, which Soviet troops and Korean resistance fighters who've been fighting a war of resistance against the Japanese in Manchuria and trying to liberate their homeland again, had made it as far as the northern half of the Korean Peninsula, Pyongyang and such. So America was not able to institute. What they ended up doing is keeping a lot of the Japanese collaborators in power and instituting a military dictatorship, a government that had no popular support and was just, it kept a lot of literally the old Japanese colonial officials, especially people who were of Korean birth but were collaborators with the Japanese regime, were kept in power. Some of the actual ethnic Japanese people were later removed after a short period, but the collaborators were kept in power, and a huge number of them, people would commit horrendous war crimes and crimes against the civilian population to maintain the Japanese occupation. And this is partly MacArthur's fault, by the way. He was a virulent anti-communist and did this to, quote, reduce the chance of communist infiltration, because he knew his people would be violently anti-communist as well, as the Japanese were. And so this government instituted a reign of terror against the population so that it could maintain control despite the population not supporting them. Because it's not that the Korean people are particularly open to communism so much as in a kind of third world, any ideology that will get rid of foreign occupation and the horrendous rent-seeking behavior that was occurring from the Japanese exploitation of Korea, where they would charge farmers really high land rents, basically, and then to pay it, Korea would end up having to export agricultural products and mineral resources to Japan to, because if there's money flowing out of Korea to maintain a trade balance, in order to have the money basically to pay those rents in a large-scale system, it was all about funneling raw resources to Japan because they didn't have a lot of land themselves. It was colonialism, anyways, and so collaboration government, reign of terror that the Japanese instituted, that the United States continued, and yeah, the South Korean government was very much about keeping communists from gaining control there, even though if there had been free and fair elections across the peninsula, like the United States assessed where they should do them, realized internal documents realized that if they had free and fair elections, the communists would win them, or at least they would win the largest bloc and end up forming a coalition government and ruling in combination with social democrats and such. And so they decided, no, we won't have free and fair elections. They kept a military dictatorship in power. Because people like this evil CIA State Department types will do anything to maintain power. They don't care about democracy. When you hear U.S. officials saying, oh, we bet democracy and Erdogan Castle and freedom and democracy, that's bullshit. It's always a lie. It's really about imperial power and control. And the whole democracy rhetoric is for the rubes. They do not believe this shit one bit. They just want an excuse to make countries subservient to U.S. interests, and by that, that's often U.S. multinationals operating in countries with horrendous labor rights, which, by the way, is the situation in South Korea for a very long time. The U.S. maintained a military dictatorship puppet regime there until the early 80s, when it started to really be replaced because the Korean people demanded it, and they would have rose up violently. It was getting the tension so bad if the U.S. didn't let the military dictatorship be replaced. They actually opposed it, the replacement of the dictatorship, and worried, oh, communists would take over and all this nonsense, and called the democracy protesters communists, but it didn't work. Anyways, enough about that. So here I am doing a little more trade to get a little more money, because as you can see, finances are tight. I need a little more before I go on campaign into Swadian lands in like a day or two and try and do some battles, getting some combat experience before my mercenary contract is up. At which point relations with Swadia will just repair. Grapes, olive, cheese. So 42, 44, 45. Pretty sure I can sell that in Jakala if my men don't eat it before I get there. Wait. Why can't collect the upgrade now? Really? She gained 4 XP, that's all? So it's going to take 2 more days before she can learn to ride a horse. This is ridiculously slow. These recruits, I want to promote all of them to footmen right before battle. Keep not promoting the level who can now, because the stack actually gains more XP if it's 11 larger, and what XP is counted for the whole stack. So get to the point of all of them being upgraded, being able to be upgraded sooner if I don't promote any of them until they can all. I could promote these guys to Veteran Footmen right now. However, the reason not to is just mainly wages. Otherwise, there's actually no reason to not. Fortunately, move slowly at night, which makes doing trade routes like this that start off at night iffy. More stuff gets in on the trip. Also don't have really enough horses in my party. Well, my inventory. For my party too. Because I gave some of them to my companions because they really slow down stack without horses, but yeah, I do need, but I'm also carrying a ton of stuff. Still managed to make a profit even with what was in there. That's cheap smoked fish. Around here, it's probably cheaper than grain. Possibly cheaper than grain. But yeah, I'm going to want to sell the smoked fish somewhere else. 36 for grain, huh? Yeah, I'll sell one of them. Smoked fish up to 35 dinars. Bread's not especially cheap, so yeah, just a little grain. Gonna have to trying to figure out what's more visually appealing. I think that's do a little more trading to make enough money. I also, though, need to visit the arms merchant. I could use another shield. My party, unfortunately, the really good ones are expensive. And this is kind of slow. Your shields are small. There. I'm not loving any of that. You can buy a wooden stick, not even a club or a cudgel, just a stick. It's ridiculous. You have to be really, really broke to be willing to buy that. A military claver, huh? This might actually be worth purchase. I'll have to come back for this, maybe. Let me pause and look at my party equipment real quick. Alright, looks like this rusty military claver is, yeah, it's an upgrade over some of my companions have falchions, which do less damage, have shorter reach, only slightly faster. 98 speed instead of 96. I think, and this doesn't weigh that much even. It's a good piece of equipment. I just need more money. No shields, unfortunately, but I do want to give someone that military claver. I'm working hard to upgrade my peeps to the point where they'll be more combat effective. Somewhat poor village here. Oh, fish. Oh, this is a source of fish. They have silk, though. A lot of money to be made buying the silk. It's not a great price in the line, but I have that many dinars. I don't want to make another trip, so I'll offer a little more wine just so they can. And I'm pretty sure that's at a loss, just so they can buy the silk. So the trip back to the city with the silk will certainly get me enough money for that cleaver. Not as handily as I thought. 5.8. This is an unusually low price for the silk here. Psalm 1, the price will recover a little over time. Price of wine has gone up a little. It's now 180. I'm gonna visit that little village, Warband, and then return to Jakala. Flourishing village of more silk. More fish. I'll buy wine at a decent enough price. Grain's not an amazing price, but I think I can sell it for maybe 1 dinar more than that. It's 34 dinars, and I'll slightly reduce the consumption of other things. Well, of the fish. Which I think I can sell for more in the long run. Grain, at least when I get to other lands, not near the coast here. So 342 for the salt, that's obviously profitable. 34 for the grain. Well, broke even, but there was a chance if anyone decided to eat during that time. Bet this price will come up a little more. 429 dinars. It's a little low for. What? You can visit Rural D here. No one ever visits it, but there don't seem to be any brigands up here, so. Buy the smoked fish at a small profit. Very small. Buy grain as a replacement for men eating fish, so that I have more of it to sell in the future. Should be able to sell the dyes in the city too. That might be a decent price for iron. At least I could probably find somewhere I'll sell more than that. 279. I don't know. It's probably not worth it. I need to save up money. Plus, I don't have the money to buy the iron. Count Roland sends word they wishes you to join his new military campaign. You need to bring at least 8 troops army if you're instructed to raise more men with all due haste if you don't have enough. 8? That's nothing. Alright. Well, I've been summoned. Price of silk somehow gotten even worse than before. Why are the dyes not selling for anything? This is a city that needs some cabbages. Just hoping the price come up, but maybe a caravan just visited and actually went down. Silk. Weird. Alright, he's at Jamisha Castle. I have 3 days. Jamisha Castle's all the way over there. Alright, guess another stop by Bella's, then Chalez. Oh. No. Can I buy that? Yeah, I can buy that stupid, almost forgot. Let's buy the... Oh no, everything rolled over, refreshed. It's not here anymore, the military cleaver. The cleaver, whatever, the rusty. There is a two-handed saber, but it's two-handed. Darn. A heater shield. Battered plane kite shield. Ah, a scythe. That's got a long reach and a high swing damage. Never underestimate the value of a scythe from horseback. Ooh, a lamed courser. There's a chance this might repair. I don't need to walk around with this much grain. But, oh yeah, if I sell off the equipment I replaced the scythe with, I should probably have enough for the courser. And then I put in my lamed courser in my inventory, and it might lose the lamed trait over time, at which point I have a courser, which is a really good mount. Who's this? This is Katrin. Yeah, she's got the highest proficiency, so I give her the best equipment. The best I can afford being this. It's all my people are very light. Give her a scythe that's not bent. Nice. Scythe and a falchion. Got 2 bandits to ride with the cavalry still. Wait, it doesn't show them on horseback anymore. Are they not on horses now? They have arrows. Guess they could fight as archers. Yeah, I can move people up and down. Let's do that. The companions. Anyways. Bounce pitchfork here. This guy's use is thrusting at horses. Nomad Saber, because she doesn't have the strength for... Her need is my next best after that. Bent War Spear. I'll give him a bent scythe that's got longer reach. Balanced pitchfork is actually better than a bent war spear. Oh yeah, she didn't have a polearm anymore because my equipment was spread a little thin. But yeah, and a hardened dress. It's kind of ridiculous, but it actually was an upgrade, or one of the most cost-effective pieces of equipment I could get. Ymira, so she's wearing a dress. I guess it's got like some metal plates under or something. Hardened little cap, hardened dress, and nomad boots. So she's got polearm. The AI is smart enough that when enemies get too close, sometimes they'll switch off polearms into like one-handed items. Sometimes they'll keep trying to use a polearm when another horse gets right up next to him. Hopefully some of the time she'll switch to her mace. Because polearms have a damage penalty if enemies are closer in the max reach. Kind of sucks like that. Anyhow. Most places fish sells for more than grain, so it does way less. However, I can't have too much weight on me, and I'll get more grain. I should probably offload at least some of that silk. Lots of little villages sell grain. Very affordable prices, so. Cool. Let's get this lamed courser if it sits in my inventory. Probably want it all the way up here, actually, so I can see if it loses lamed. Care for its wounds, and I might have a not lamed courser. It's way back, actually. Costs more, even though it can't possibly recover, though. Swayback horse, if it gets lamed in combat, then it can recover and lose the swayback. That's a strategy if I wanted to have the money to buy. 12, 40, 39. Yeah, there must be some acknowledgement, because the saddle horse is almost strictly better stats than the lamed courser. But the price is the same. The fact that it is a courser and could eventually recover. I don't know. For acting as a pack animal, which the courser is doing for now. Horse stats don't matter at all. Count Talbar's party. He's waiting. But Jamisha Castle. Right. Have to keep making my way there. More cheap dies. Chalez, gotta make my way to Jamisha Castle. Probably would have bought wine for a good price. Oh, they will buy smoked fish for not terrible price. Guess I can keep a little, so I might have higher morale. Also, because I might find some more where it's better price than that. Cool. Oh, to offload that I need to buy something. I have almost no money. Darn it. Well, I guess I'll just sell them one unit, which is at the highest price, too. I don't think I want to buy any of this. I could do pork. You know what? I might sell that at a profit later. Yeah. Try and sell it to Jamisha, the pork. Clethy is advanced to level 3. Finally. Alright. Intelligence. Because that gives 2 skill points instead of 1 writing. And let's see. Might actually eventually get, it might be a while till she levels up again. I'll give her 2 points in writing. Since there are some better mounts I might eventually get. I don't know if I can get them after battle or such. Parms levels quickly. Let's give her one-handed. Stuff like that. Here's some horse, so it requires 1 riding skill. Now it's the best I've got, though. I'm gonna rearrange stuff a little now that she's not on foot anymore. I'll see you folks in a sec. Again. Alright, back. Oops, sorry, didn't have the mic in place. And I'm back. Did a little rebalancing of the equipment. most notably Scythe. Said Nomad armor is probably actually better than some of the other stuff I've been using because I may be overestimating how important leg armor is relative to body armor for someone who's cavalry. Body is a bigger target, and even though they'll sometimes get their shields in the way of body hits, not always. Alright, anyways, on my way to Jamisha. This pork's gotten a little aged, unfortunately. Well, they'll buy dyes for a pretty penny. Green cabbage and smoked fish. People to eat. Do I have anywhere I could sell honey, though? I made a quick trip to Hawa. What do I have on this? Two days. Reverend. Enemy near Reverend? Enemy is all the way over there by Yellen. Why are we gathering the far side of the kingdom? Makes no sense. If I want to sell these dyes, I have to buy their honey. Not sure I can resell the honey for a good price. You know what? Screw it, I'll just buy some olives. And swing by the castle. Close enough to see if Count Reland is still there. Okay. Sell the olives. Buy grain. So this is semi-decent price in chicken. It doesn't appear I'm gonna get much. Ooh, smoked fish. No. Don't have enough money. Less about the iron. Get the chicken. So I can get rid of the dyes or silk even. Silk weighs more relative to its value. The dyes take up more inventory slots. I can't sell all the silk. I could buy a chicken, sell the bloody pork. So I'll add more party morale if it gets in. It's a great, pretty decent price on the dyes, and the smoked fish are selling for a really great price. Chicken is fresher than the pork. I can afford another detour. That music is so bloody loud. Yeah, nothing I really want to buy here. Oh well. Let's get to Jamisha Castle now. Just Kane guy. Really? The AI pathfinding is that bad? Did it crash? Shoot. You've got to be kidding me. All the way back in Voluka. All that progress. Lost. This is ridiculous. Stupid freaking... What the heck? What is with these ass... What? Ah! This should not have happened. These freaking game devs, they couldn't make something that... I mean, this used to be a problem with games in this era. They didn't handle memory well. They would be full of memory leaks, and they would often have crashes and save corruption. And this just annoys the heck out of me, though. I have to listen to this stupid music again, too. Alright, well. I guess I'll do things a little differently this time. I can stop by Emmer. Got absolutely nothing. You know what? I wouldn't normally do this, but I'm just pissed off enough that the game crashed on me before to do this once. Might as well at least repeat the things I did before. Some of them. Maybe do things I didn't, like stop by Fedner. Bloody messages. Wait, the olives aren't selling for crap. Grapes are, though. Grain's actually surprisingly cheap. Let's see. Does this reroll every time? Appears to. Arming sword. Chipped Nork sword. Maybe I just missed this before. There's an old kite shield. We give this one a backup. Nork sword wouldn't be terrible. Also can't really afford it. Just buy an old kite shield. No, I think I could. Give me a sec. Let's check part equipment. So it looks like I could buy this chipped Nordic sword if I got rid of this falchion here. The damage is a little less, but it weighs less, and it's got, importantly, higher speed and longer reach. The reach is the big thing, because I'm fighting from horseback a lot of times. So, soft the chipped falchion, which also has a strength requirement, so it can't distribute as optimally, and actually, let's sell that first. This is silly, but that is here. I guess this does let me double check for opportunities. Nope, there are no more. Just wanted to buy a lamed sumpter horse. That's actually a good idea. But yeah. To get that, I need 98 dinars. Give me a sec more. All right, a little more rebalancing of equipment, distributing of that sword. Save because I'm rather annoyed with losing prize before. I need to be more careful with that, about saving. Let's see, since I know the pathfinding is stupid now. Seriously? Stop. Why does it want to go so badly into the forest? Stop by Fedner. And now it's doing nonsense where it doesn't play music. Murdoch. Veteran crossbowman. Haven't gotten the summons yet, like I did before. They'll stay put. Lose a lot of recruits in this. Didn't have that. Yeah, I'll give this my best shot. Are you kidding me? Arrgh. I'm in a bad mood. Very bad after losing that prize before. Why were they just staying put just to waste my time? I swear the AI likes to troll you sometimes like that. I think lose less on sun the grain, so I can buy grapes. Meat, can profit off that. Been trying to sell him wine. I don't actually have 4 dinars, so this would be a net loss. Oh well. By way of Chesa. Stop by Luca again. Of course, and instantly a bunch of the grapes. And I'd sell stuff if the price was right. Luca at least pays well for grapes because they make wine. Just wish the dumbasses in my party would stop eating every freaking food item I get my hands on. Alright. Guess I'll do the olives because otherwise they're just going to get in. Wine and grain. Let's buy that lame Sumter horse. But with the other Sumters, this pack animal, it's fine, even if it never recovers, so. Wait. They jacked up the price from 88 to 98? Noxious. Somebody betrayed the king of the Nords and defected the Serenades. Interesting. Did that happen before? I think not. Saw a little wine. Pay an alright price for a unit of grain. Yeah, smoked fish. It's cheap. Should be able to be sold profitably elsewhere. Maybe even the bread? Nah. Still one stick. A rusty military cleaver that I can't afford. Unless... So one more wine. Maybe the sight loss. Because the bread has its uses for party morale too, so I don't lose men if I lose a fight or something. Let's buy this stupid military cleaver. Already equipping her like she's cavalry, because she will be by the time I actually do any fighting with her. So, a little bit slower, but it's much more damaging than the Nomad Saber. The proficiency should amplify damage. Trying to get the best weapons to most proficient fighters. Nomad Saber when fighting from horseback for CERN. Just finish this off camera. And ended up just shuffling stuff around and deciding to go to this falchion. I could have instead gone around the mace, given a longer reach sword to Ymera here, but I think I might actually want to keep using the mace. It's blunt after all and can occasionally get me captives, which will pay for itself. As I eventually get a better piece of equipment of weaponry, I'd want to give Jeremis something about his falchion anyways, and I wouldn't be able to give Ymera because she doesn't have the strength, so saw that falchion off. Save often. Let's visit Buvram here. Our needs of declared in the Kargats. Things happening a little different here. It's not a bad price in the wine. Might be able to profit off the wool somewhere. 9, probably not here, but pork and the cheese. Six, 109. Oh, I don't have 55 dinars. Shoot. Guess get offload a little grain on them. Or Could not buy the pork since there's not much profit potential in that actually. So I sold wine, bought cheese and wool. Can't rewind doing his thing again. Not much profit there, but there's some. Ooh, little on the wool too. More fish available. Stockpile fish. Lots and lots of fish. Visit Abdella's. Cheap grain. Nice. They have silk. Oh, can sell them wine. Buy 1 unit of silk. Some bread too, actually. Little profit on the bread. I'll come back for the other silk. 396 for it. I say that, but I might not actually be able to profit off the other silk. Prices they're asking. 34, and next one would. Yeah, no, I could profit. Barely. There's some tiny bit of profit to be made here. Maybe. Not. Let's see a courser this time around. Oh, profit or no. Probably need to get going. There's actually stuff to buy. If I want sturdy tabard instead of a staring one. Place my characters. This is or some leather gloves. Let's buy leather gloves. It's rare enough I find them for sale. See, I gave him the sturdy ones because such a glaring weakness. There we go. Leather gloves for Jeremis. Clefty can level up again. He's going riding. Actually, since Jeremis uses ranged weapons, he should be the one with the saddle horse. Oops. Staring Sumter there. Don't. Sumter horse is just not fast enough to be able to keep a character out of melee. If they're fighting as a horse archer, basically. It's unfortunate there weren't better arms for sale. Like another scythe. There's a shortened spear. Not amazing. I suppose I could give that to Ymir. It's at least got better range and other stuff. Soldier's Quaver. It's kind of pricey. $25 on thrust. 17 for cracked pitchfork. That's incredibly low. Yeah, I'll buy this. It's only 98. It's not amazing, the shortened spear, but it's definitely got more reach than the mace. And if her shield ever gets broken, polearms are less than 150 in length. Don't have a damage penalty. I believe there's damage penalty if they're over 150 length if you use them with the shield or if you use them from horseback, but those penalties don't stack. Or no, maybe it's one's more than 150 used with shield or horseback, but they don't stack either way. So if she ever gets dismounted and loses her shield, slightly better than other polearms. For fighting on foot. Not that I'm anticipating that, but this gives her a way to gain polearm skill. She only has a little of fighting from horseback. Because someday she'll, all my companions will be lancers. Alright, keep saving up, and I do need to keep a little money in reserve for, upgrading recruits to footmen right before major fights with the Swedians. Alright, Chiles. Buy the fish. I think I didn't pay quite this much for it. If hides, I haven't seen that before. I wouldn't be surprised if I can sell that more elsewhere. Find grain for sale, cheaper elsewhere. Trying to get precisely what they have. 91 for the hides. Base price 75. Oh geez, I might not be able to resell it for more after all. Anyways, to Jamisha. That's a caravan. Nice. Here's another one. It just bypasses Jamisha. Ah. Potent full poles. Advance fall before you use wheat to a scythe. Got 100 dinars. Per stand. Cool. Money. Combat experience. Not complaining. Got semi-cheap pork here. 57. Cool. Let's go visit Omaha. I'd probably resell it there. Nope, because it aged overnight. Sell the hides for profit, though. Should buy more pork for less. Pay well for fish. Interesting. Oh. Buy the iron so I can sell lots of fish then. Maybe not quite that much. Cool. want the pork either. Still got enough time, I think, to hit Cherise and then head to Jamasha Castle. So the morning of June 3rd. Just save rent to the castle because there's a chance of a crash again. It might be like a RAM issue. I don't know. Minimizing. May have to pause the recording when I load in. This pork is worth less because it's a little aged. I'll sell off the pork. Sell off the iron. It's actually profitable because it allowed me to sell the fish off. Oops. Sell dates very cheap here. That's unusually low price on wool cloth. 95. Yeah, I need money. Don't need more trade goods. I've never understood why date fruit isn't a thing you can feed your troops. I mean, it's good they're not buying up the trade good, but dates are absolutely edible and very tasty. Whatever. To Jamasha Castle. Actually, to Jamasha first. Quest canceled. Oh, that's great. Failed that. Guess I didn't have time for that detour. Oh, whatever. Saved. Day 73. For failing that. I'll visit him. I don't think I'm gonna have to pause the recording here. Actually, I'll even cut it in case it's a RAM issue, and I'll see folks on their end. I don't think that the marshals annoy with me, so it didn't matter if I failed that quest in that case. You're at Jamasha Castle. See the banner of Count Reland of the King of Rodox over the castle gate. Enter the Lord's Hall. Off camera in case it's a loading screen issue. I wish you folks all the best. Take care of each other. Be kind to yourselves, and may you always find a guiding star lead you home. Until next time, this is Northstar. Adieu, and best luck.